Hello, very welcome to pupils and parents. I just want to touch base with you. It has been now, I think, 3 weeks of online learning, and I think it's the right time to review some online learning processes and just to touch base with you where you are with the whole online learning experience. I want to address 6 aspects here today: communication, planning, reasonable amount of work, relaxation, online learning barriers, and online learning issues. Um, First of all, communication. This is the central and most critical point. It's instrumental in creating a successful online learning experience. You have, as a pupil, you have to constantly check your emails, because your teacher can be in touch with you at any stage of the day. So constantly check your emails if there are any messages from your teacher, and at the same token, you need to keep in touch with your teacher. Obviously, you cannot talk to them, so the only way you can communicate is via emails. So please use your emails. Seek clarification if there's a need for it. Inform us about any learning barriers, because if there's an illness at home, if there's a broken laptop, we don't know that, please let us know, and we'll be able to maybe do something with that broken laptop. We contact our technician if there's a need for that. Contact school if help is required, and make sure access school information via our school app. That's the Sims Parents app and Facebook. It's so important to keep in touch, both as a parent and a pupil as well. Okay, so communication is a central part. It's the core of the whole online learning, distance learning experience. And you can pause here for a moment. There you go. You've got a number of people who are responsible for certain areas of online learning, whether it's a pastoral area, academic area. Please revisit this page, because I'm sure you have already seen it. Planning is the second most important element if it comes to a successful online learning experience. And I know that Monday morning can be stressful, and some of us, both parents and pupils, might be overcome by a certain level of stress, overwhelmed by this, because when we open our emails, there might be 20-30 emails and we don't know where to start. And it's a bad start to the week already. But listen, I'm sure you have discovered already this solution here. Don't open your emails first. Simply open your homework diary and take a look at the first lesson on Monday morning, which is, let's say, maths, starting at 8:50. And if that's the case for you, then move on and open your emails now and look for that email from your maths teacher and open it now. And then I'm sure there will be bullet points what you have to do this week. And then if that is the case, then simply disseminate, or simply share this work across the whole week. Manage this work across the whole week and write it certain points, what has to be done on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. Do not do the whole maths work on one day within one morning, because that's impossible, and also might be boring as well, although maths might be exciting. Okay, right, listen, so that is the way to approach it. Next subject starting at 9:20 could be English. Fair enough, then you look for an email from your English teacher, and again do the same. Plan your week and what has to be done across the whole week. So open your emails, look for the subjects you have on Monday, plan work for the whole week. Start working on the subject you have on Monday. Then do not plan too much for one day, obviously, and whenever you finish certain aspect for certain subjects, just tick it off. It's a nice, pleasant experience, and it means you can move on to the next subject or another part of your lesson. Okay, so planning, communication planning, that's so important if we want to make our online learning experience less stressful, because let's be honest, it is not an easy experience. It hasn't been easy for anybody involved. So this is just an daily routine that you might want to adopt, or you might have already adopted this daily routine. And it's important that we spend at least a couple of hours of work in the morning, and then a couple of hours in the afternoon, and in between we have some break, lunch and exercise as well. So if you want to pause, you can stop that and again revisit this daily routine, but I'm sure by now you have established your own daily routine that suits your household and your parents and yourself. Reasonable amount of work. Okay, what do I mean by this? Again, 3-4 hours. If you're 8, 9 and 10, then 3-4 hours is plenty for you at this stage. Okay, this is an anxious time for everybody, and we do not want to add to your anxiety right now and increase your stress levels at this stage. So plan, communicate, and then stick to deadlines. And if you stick to deadlines, then you are sure that you're following your teacher's instructions, and you're following and you're working to the deadlines, and you're doing your work. Follow your timetable, and always ask if in doubt. Always ask if in doubt. Okay, if you can't submit your work on time, then please inform us and give us a reasonable reason for that, and then I'm sure teachers at this stage under those circumstances will show more than sufficient understanding for your situation. Relaxation. It is so important to have a certain amount of relaxation during the day and during the week as well. So routine, healthy diet, frequent breaks, not too frequent though, early bedtime, they are so important to ensure that we are emotionally healthy and our well-being is not under any stress here. So keep in touch with friends and family, so important. Obviously online, exercise as well. I'm not sure whether you're still sticking to that 9 o'clock Joe's exercises here. Then read for purpose, read for pleasure, and then pursue a new hobby. I don't know, whatever hobby you might discover. I started baking, haven't been that successful, made a few scones and banana bread. I will give it a break for a moment. But listen, I'm sure you will find something what is interesting for you, and what could relax you during the day and across the whole week. Okay, so pursue a new hobby if you can. There are few main learning barriers. Number one is technology. There's no doubt that the start was really difficult. I'm sure, and I can detect that from the survey that I have carried out with parents. The start was really difficult. There were 3 or 4 platforms parents and pupils had to extract work from. That was a problem, and then the internet was too slow. But I think by now we're getting the handle, or getting the hang of it by now, and things are starting to get better and settled as well. So technology. But if there are any issues, if there's anything we can do in this regard, then please let us know. Illness. Obviously, we would like you to let us know if there are any issues in this regard, so that we know that if there's work not submitted, that is because of illness, or even worse, God forbid, bereavement at home. So please let us know if that is the case. And then another barrier that is self-inflicted is lack of planning and communication. That is so important. And if you do not plan, if you do not communicate, then you will be paying for that later on, because you have to cover, or we have to cover together, the curriculum right now. We will not be able to revisit that curriculum in September or October, because we need to move on with the next year. With the next year's curriculum. So that is a huge problem for us. So you need to keep on top of what you're doing right now, and completing the tasks set by your teacher as well. So plan and communicate. Communicate. Yes, online learning. As I said earlier on, we have carried out the survey with parents, and there are three main elements that I have discovered from this survey, and that's video lessons, workload, and keeping parents informed. Now, as far as the video lessons are concerned, there are some departments that have been pre-recording some lessons with explanations. It's not always easy, and it's not always easy to find time to do that, because those things take an awful long time. But we will be exploring this aspect now to maybe extend some of those video lessons to more departments and to more pupils. However, as far as the live Zoom video lesson is concerned, we will not be able to cover and meet this requirement at this stage, because there are certain rules and regulations to do with child protection that prevent us from using this aspect of this platform at this stage. We might explore it with year 13, but we will have to use C2K based resources. So that is the case, and I'm sorry about this. Workload, I think by now we have, at the start, teachers were setting maybe an awful lot of work, but now we have probably found a balance, and you will find that the workload is not as bad as it was at the start. And keeping parents informed, I know that parents would like to know what has been said for certain year group without having to go into their children's emails, and I think we'll be able to help with that. Every Monday I will be able to send some information via the school app as well. So that is how we are planning to meet your needs in this way. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. It's not always easy, it's not always possible to do everything, but we'll try that. Just to look at the Google Classroom here again, there are certain aspects of Google Classroom that we have been using. We have been using the Drive, we have been using the Google Classroom, Docs, which are the Word documents, Sheets, which is the Excels, Forms, which are the questions or questionnaires as well, so and Slides, which is a PowerPoint presentation. So it's Google Classroom has a number of aspects that are very similar to Microsoft Word or Excel. Just to encourage you to continue reading our Drummo Live newsletter that we are trying to send to parents via the school app and Facebook and Twitter every week. We're not sure whether we'll be able to maintain that commitment or weekly commitment, but we certainly will try and do our best. So please do access this very useful and I think enjoyable and very informative and educational form of reading produced by Mrs. Ravy. We're very grateful for that, Mrs. Ravy. Okay, and just finally, it's hard sometimes to be positive in those difficult times, but let me finish this with this quotation here. A positive attitude causes a chain reaction of positive thoughts, events, and outcomes. It is a catalyst and sparks extraordinary results. So hopefully, if we can remain positive in those difficult times, we'll be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel at some stage in the next few weeks and months. God bless.